You wake up because something is watching you. Not your cat, not your neighbor, not your phone glowing like a tiny rectangle of doom. Something outside the firelight is breathing. You cannot see the whole body, only two eyes. Low, still, too patient. Welcome to the ancient human night shift. For most of human history, your ancestors were not fearless kings of nature. They were clever. They were social. They made tools. They used fire. They also had soft skin, breakable bones, and terrible natural armor. A leopard did not care about your dreams. A hyena did not care that your species might one day invent philosophy. A lion did not pause and say, "Yes, this anxious ape has potential." No, to a predator, you were not destiny. You were dinner with thumbs. Ancient humans survived deadly predators not because they were stronger. They survived because they became difficult, annoying, organized, noisy, fire-lit, sharp-ended. The kind of prey that made a predator think, maybe I will eat something less complicated. That was the goal, not invincible. Just irritating enough to see another sunrise. Early humans lived with animals that could ruin your entire bloodline before breakfast. Big cats, hyenas, bears, crocodiles, wolves, snakes, and sometimes birds of prey large enough to threaten children. Imagine walking outside with no walls, no streetlights, no locked door, and no app saying, "A leopard has been detected near your camp." The first great defense was simple. Do not be alone. A lone human is vulnerable. A group of humans is a problem. Predators love surprise. They want one target, one mistake, one person at the edge of the group having a very bad day. But a group has many eyes, many ears, many voices, many hands, and if necessary, many rocks. A predator looking at one human sees opportunity. A predator looking at 10 humans sees paperwork. This is why social life was survival technology. You slept near others. You moved with others. You watched their faces. If one person suddenly froze and stared into the dark, everyone paid attention. Maybe it was wind. Maybe it was leopard. In ancient life, assuming everything was just wind, was how you became a cautionary smell. So if you wake up at 3 a.m. and stare at the ceiling like a haunted accountant, congratulations, your ancient night guard software may still be running. Fire was the next upgrade. Fire was warmth. Fire was cooking. Fire was light. But it was also a warning sign. It told the darkness. The nervous apes have stolen lightning and put it in a pile. Predators may not understand drama, but they understand heat, smoke, brightness, and a group of upright animals gathered around a glowing danger circle. Fire was not magic. A desperate predator could still attack, but fire changed the odds. It made night less blind. It helped humans see movement. It gathered the group in one defendable place. It let people cook, talk, repair tools, and pretend they were not extremely concerned about the sound in the bushes. Then came weapons. Not beautiful weapons, not fantasy weapons. Weapons with dirt under their fingernails. A sharpened stick sounds ridiculous until you remember that most predators strongly dislike being stabbed in the face. At Schöningen in Germany, archaeologists discovered wooden spears around 300 years old. These are among the oldest known complete hunting weapons. Plain English. Humans or close human relatives were shaping wooden weapons long before farming, cities, or complaining about slow internet. The Schöningen spears were not random branches. They were shaped, balanced, planned. Some researchers have compared them to javelins because they show understanding of weight and throwing. That means ancient humans knew something important. If the pointy stick is shaped correctly, the angry animal can receive the message from farther away. Distance matters. Without a spear, your arm is short and sad. With a spear, danger gets pushed back. A lion has teeth over there. You have a sharp problem over here. That gap is civilization before architecture. Even better, spears work in groups. One spear is unpleasant. Several spears pointed outward are a very serious complaint. A predator charging into a ring of spear-holding humans is not attacking helpless prey. It is entering a meeting with consequences. Of course, humans did not always win. Predators killed humans. Predators stole carcasses. Predators waited near water. Predators followed weakness. Sometimes the big animal simply won, but humans made winning expensive. A predator that gets injured may starve later. A damaged eye, broken tooth, wounded paw, or infected cut can become fatal. So predators must calculate risk. Humans became risky food. Not unbeatable, just not worth it today. Noise was another weapon. In the wild, sudden coordinated noise can break a predator's confidence. Shouting, clapping, beating sticks, throwing stones, rushing together, making yourself look larger than you are. A leopard wants stealth. A hyena wants opportunity. A lion wants advantage. A group of humans screaming, waving fire, and throwing rocks is not the calm dining experience anyone requested, and rocks deserve respect. A thrown stone is one of the oldest distance weapons. It is free. It is everywhere. It requires no crafting tutorial. Before metal, bows, or fancy tools, the ground itself could become ammunition. Pick up rock, throw rock, miss dramatically, pick up another rock. Ancient technology, highly scalable. The goal was not always to kill. Often the goal was to say, we are loud, organized, and annoying. Please go bother a zebra. Knowledge was just as important as weapons. Ancient humans did not wander through predator country like tourists with no map. They learned the landscape, where animals drank, where crocodiles waited, where cats hid, which tracks were fresh, which birds gave alarm calls, which silence felt wrong. A footprint was information, broken grass, a smell, a shadow, a sudden quiet, a circling vulture. To a modern person, dirt is dirt. To an experienced tracker, dirt is a message board. And sometimes the message says, something with claws passed here recently. Stop being stupid. Children had to learn this early. A child wandering away from camp was not a cute adventure. It was an emergency. Adults carried infants. Older children stayed close. People watched the edges of camp. Someone probably yelled the ancient version of, do not go over there. Every parent in history has said this sentence. Only the predator changes. Avoidance may have been the most underrated survival skill. Modern movies love confrontation. The hero sees danger and runs toward it. Ancient humans who did that every time probably had very short biographies. Avoiding predators is not cowardice. It is math. Do not walk near crocodile water at the wrong time. Do not travel alone through thick brush at dusk. Do not sleep beside fresh predator tracks. Do not approach a carcass unless you are ready for the previous owner to return. Do not act like a sharpened stick has made you immortal. The ancient person who avoided danger lived long enough to be called wise. The ancient person who fought every predator became an example. A brief example. Scavenging was especially dangerous. Meat was valuable. A carcass could feed a group, but carcasses attract professionals. Hyenas, lions, jackals, vultures. Sites such as Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania show stone tools and animal bones with cut marks, meaning early humans processed carcasses in places where carnivores were also part of the story. A carcass was not free food. It was a crowded restaurant with no rules and several customers who could bite through your arm. So humans needed speed, lookouts, tools ready, coordination, and the wisdom to leave when the situation became too spicy. Sometimes survival means saying, actually, the hyenas can have this one. That is maturity, also not dying. Predators also shaped your brain. Fear is not weakness. Fear is information with adrenaline. A rustle in the dark makes your heart jump because your body would rather embarrass you than let you be eaten. False alarms are annoying, but in a predator world, a false alarm is cheaper than false calm. If you jump at nothing, you feel silly. If you ignore something real, you become a snack with a family history. Your brain would rather mistake a branch for a leopard than mistake a leopard for a branch. That ancient setting still runs today. It activates when a coat on a chair looks like a person, when your laundry pile looks suspicious, when one creaky floorboard becomes an entire horror movie. Very useful, very stupid.